So that we're recording.
We are recording. So, Len, we're recording our first episode now for our Friday short series. So,
What if we
we're
don't actually publish on Fridays?
then I guess it's going to be a Tuesday or whenever we get around to publishing it short series.
Okay. So there's so many stories we run into every week. And sometimes once a month, something will merit an article or a video. But every week, there's just like dozens of stories that I don't know if anybody will find interesting or not, but we should be talking about them at least for 10 minutes or
Yeah, I mean,
something.
well, if we find them interesting, it's probably good enough that somebody else might find them at least remotely entertaining.
Yeah.
So one of the first things that we have on our list to talk about are fractional CMOs. So Len, what gave you the idea to talk about fractional CMOs today?
We met one this week that was awesome. I think you've interviewed one on the podcast, and we liked everything they had to say. But the one we ran into this week just rubbed us the wrong way. And it was a potential client. We can help the client. We had an idea on how we would help the client, which would be expanding into another city near them. There's definitely opportunity in the local pack. I'm 100% confident they would get probably 6 cases a month off expanding. The we never proposed to them, but the budget we proposed would have been very cost effective. And the CMO came in, fractional CMO, with a list of demands through ChatGPT, saying, "Oh, the SEO person's going to have to do GEO and communicate with the social media person, which is fine, but do this and this and this, report by this date, all this keyword research, like a lot of these things that are like totally against the way we work." And what's ironic is they actually met you when you were doing your speech on how good SEO takes care of the GEO. And she wanted a detailed report ahead of time on how we would, like an essay on how we would approach GEO,
But to
which
be fair, the new fractional CMO is not the person that I met with. And this is a new person who is coming in trying to, demonstrate their skills, pull their weight. And it was essentially a request for a proposal, or an RFP saying we want to work with a company and we want them to be able to do X, and we want somebody else maybe to be able to do Y, and somebody else maybe to be able to do Z. Tell us what you can do. But it was very clearly a RFP that was built by ChatGPT or some other AI platform. And it's a little frustrating. And yes, there are some agencies out there that love working that way, where they want to.
name one.
Well, I don't know of any. I wouldn't name your friends. But I mean, I know that there are some bureaucrats out there that just want to punish themselves and create a jargon-filled proposal that really doesn't mean anything. I mean, I could plug that proposal into ChatGPT or the RFP into ChatGPT, plug in our website and say, "All right, ChatGPT, go and generate a proposal based off of their RFP." And it would spit back something that I'm sure they would love, but it would not be representative of who we are as a brand or how we serve our clients or the quality of work that we provide. It would just be a game of back and forth AI just for the sake of destroying the environment and patting our egos.
You like my hat?
I love your hat. I designed your hat.
Right. I never wear hats, but the light comes in and it like makes me look like I got these terrible bags under my eyes, which I probably do, but the hat like makes it better. I need one of those little circle lights in front of me, like the popular Instagrammers.
Either that or you just need to wear a different silly hat every time we record one of these episodes. It could be your shtick. So the point of this story is yes, fractional CMOs can be helpful. Essentially, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with what a fractional CMO does, they come in and they help create the strategy for a marketing strategy for law firms. And then they say, here's what you should be looking for. And then after they do that, they essentially have a very hands-off approach. They don't do any of the implementation, they don't do much of the facilitation of this. So if you have a fractional CMO, make sure that they are not just using Chat GPT to create RFPs because they're just going to end up turning off some of the best providers out there by making them jump through stupid hoops that are completely unessential.
We should have started this off on a positive note, such as the next topic, digital PR success.
Ooh, digital PR success. Yes, we can
One of my
absolutely talk about that.
favorites. So for the digital PR success, all personal injury attorneys need backlinks, and there's a ton of people out there that build really, 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 really bad backlinks. Um, to win, usually you have to do something that bends the rules. But if you can get actual PR and actual links from local newspapers, it's just like amazing. We've tried it here many times ourselves. We've used contractors. We've done Haro. Um, we've tried everything. We finally have somebody in house who ran their first campaign, and it worked really good. And I don't want to give it away, but it was very timely, and it was something that she reached out to journalists on a day she knew they would want to be talking about safety, and it would be a slow news day, and there was the news stations went crazy with it. We got a ton of backlinks. The New York Post mentioned it. The local news stations sent reporters out to fire departments out to talk about it, and I just couldn't be happier with the way the digital PR worked out. They got a ton of backlinks off of it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, so this particular campaign worked out so well. As Len mentioned, there are other campaigns that we thought would be home runs and were absolute flops. So working with someone who has an eye for this, that can get outside of your head of what should be a home run and what won't, working with somebody who has the connections established with reporters, who's done this time and time again, who can do the research and also has the right tools. So we had been using Cision. We are now using Meltwater. I don't have a plug for either one of those. I don't work with either one of those, yeah, other than just hiring them or using their service platform. But we used the one that she was most comfortable with, the one that she felt good about using for outreach with other journalists. So making sure that you have the tools for success lined up is a critical element if you're going to have a successful PR campaign.
So what else happened this week? Somebody let their domain name expire, which tends to happen so often. We once had somebody and one of their employees left, and they had been taking care of the registration, and they maliciously shut everything down the day they got fired. So attorneys should always be in control of their domain name. It's crazy. I think this month we took on a new client, and their last agency owns the domain name. Thankfully, they're in the process of giving it back, I believe. But it's something that costs $10 a year. And people are spending millions of dollars in marketing this service, and it's $10. Like, why would you not pay close attention to that $10 domain name? I get this probably all we really need to.
So, but this, I mean, this can't be emphasized enough because if your domain name expires, your website goes down. So I think that this is an important point for somebody who might not be familiar with the term domain name. This is your URL. This is joeschmoelawfirm.com. If your domain name expires, that then the people who go to that website get an error message. And think about all of the leads that you have coming in every day. So for every day that your domain name is expired, you could be losing thousands of dollars over, as Len said, a $10 domain name. So when you go into your registration account for your domain name, make sure that it's set up on auto renew, make sure that your credit card on file is not about to expire. Just safeguard yourself how you can because it's a little glitch that can just have huge issues and ramifications.
Yes, and you're leasing that domain name. You don't actually own it. So if it expires, there's usually a grace period, but after that, anybody can register, and somebody will register it. There's people out there that make a living. They're called domainers, and they will buy that domain, and you're not going to get it back for less than, I don't even know, $100,000 or something.
Yeah, yeah, huge problem.
So, so on Facebook, the ads have started showing up, and they offer Reddit visibility services. So, and I think that's good if you're looking for new sneakers and things. Unfortunately, so I hate Reddit. I think it's full of people in their mom's basement who have never touched grass before. There are some good parts of Reddit, but there's a lot of junk on there. There's a lot of people influencing it and spam it. I've done it as an experiment and it worked great. Um, but unfortunately, Google gets a lot of their AI training data and they cite Reddit a lot, which is it's just mind blowing to me that they would cite this website, which is it's just you can just go make an anonymous account, and Reddit will say, oh yes, this is the best law firm according to Farty McFarterson 0258. I'm like, what is that? Where why? But anyways, inevitably people are offering services to spam Reddit. The problem is they usually do such a terrible job spamming it. It gets marked as spam. You can be active on Reddit. If you're going to spam it, it's going to be something that takes like 6 months for you to set up all the accounts just right to go in and manipulate it. For the amount of effort, you might as well just go start engaging in the communities yourself. You can't, it's not a place where you can just go promote your own company or people will delete your post and ban you. So there's no quick fix for that. It's basically what I'm trying to say. These people are saying, hey, for $2,500, we'll make you show up in Reddit. It's not going to happen.
So, what are your thoughts on spamming Facebook, though? So, if you have somebody on your team going in to the, Carry Apex Mom's account, and anytime somebody asks for a personal injury lawyer or a divorce lawyer, having somebody on your team go in and say, "Oh, well, this law firm is great." What are your
We
thoughts
met
on
a,
that?
we met a guy in Colorado Springs, and he's very active in the local Facebook community. It can be a really toxic place. But and I forget what it's called. It's like, say it's area code 505. He's very active in I think it's called 505 locals. And anytime somebody needs a painter, he chimes in. If somebody needs a plumber, he chimes in. And he's just very active in the community in general. And because of that, people know he's a lawyer. Some people have started using him and they had a good experience and now they recommend him. So again, it was something that took probably a few years, but now he gets recommended in those groups. And Google does like citing Facebook groups in their AI overviews.
And so I think that the moral of the story here is don't pay somebody to go and spam the crap out of something. If you want to use social media as a tool, if you want to use these forums as a tool, go in, have genuine dialogues with people, be genuinely helpful. Don't be that jerk who is just paying all this money to get your name in front of thousands of people in a really kind of smarmy way. Be helpful. Have somebody on your team. Be helpful. But you only get one reputation.
Yeah, 99% of people are not willing to go do that, or they don't have the time for it, or it's not worth it. They get plenty of leads through Google and the local pack anyways. The AI stuff, it drives so little traffic. Like it's to me, like I'm not doing it myself. Like I don't think it's worth it. But if you wanted to, you could.
All right, well, next on our list is Google AI mode sending users to the wrong website. Ugh, how how frustrating would it be to, spend all this effort into getting yourself eligible to show up for AI results and then have it send a user to the wrong website? What's going on here?
I saw it 3 times this week, and um, I don't want to name the name, but a good example would be if you sold in Philadelphia. Okay, so there's all these different cheesesteak restaurants in Philly. You could have Tony's cheesesteaks, you could have Anthony's cheesesteaks, then you could have Anthony's pizza, which is known for their cheesesteaks. And if you Google Tony's cheesesteak, it might show you the name from one business, the website for another, and a phone number for the other. And it'll say, Tony is well known for their cheesesteaks. Here's a link to their website, or you can call them here. And all the information is wrong. I feel like on a technical level, Google's AI overviews is having a problem understanding entities. Somebody asked me, hey, can we correct them? And I said, no, because these results are generated on the fly. You can Google the same thing 5 times and get 5 different answers. I'm just not a big fan of AI overviews. I like AI mode a lot better, but the AI overviews just continue to get so many things wrong. We had one firm call us and they said, I a client just Googled my firm name to leave us a review and they clicked the link and a different firm came up. I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure it was the AI overviews, which I sometimes call Google AI slop overviews.
Oh, but how awful would that be that you put in all of the work to, do right by a client, they put in the effort to go and search to give you a review, and then they potentially leave it for the wrong law firm because AI has taken them to the wrong place. That's awful.
Yeah.
So we have a note here, perplexity using own index. What do you mean? What's this? What's this?
I don't know when that happened. I like to pay attention to where. So some people say, I want to show up in AI. I'm like, well, what does that mean? So, Google's AI overviews and AI mode all use Google's index, not necessarily the rankings, but um, a lot of times the rankings are very similar. So Google
Tell people
has,
what an index is.
so the index means the search engine has gone out and it's found Wikipedia, it's found your law firm, it's found Anthony's Pizza, and it's all been added to the index because it has to be indexed before it could potentially rank. So if you Google how to fly a kite, there could be 10,000 pages in the index. And of course, there's 10 that make it to the front page of the search results. Um, so Perplexity used to use Bing for a lot, and they still do to an extent, but apparently they've been building their own index. So a lot of them use Bing, but they don't always say what they're using. They say they use a variety, but historically, Perplexity felt like they were using Bing a lot more than they do. And apparently they have much more of their own index now.
Wow. So they are becoming much more independent. And are they relying on the same kind of ranking factors, so to speak, as all the other indices out there, or are there slight variances?
So I know Google's been refining their algorithms, since the late 1990s, and all these other companies are brand new. So there's still a lot of spam that impact AI and LLMs like Perplexity. So like one example right now is you can sign up to be the best personal injury attorney marketer. If there's a list calling, like the top 10 personal injury marketing agencies, you can pay to be on that list. And it does impact the AI results. But they're catching up with that and they'll be working to reduce people manipulating their results.
So what that, goes to show is that all of these LLMs will eventually be catching up to what Google has been working towards since its infancy, which is giving people the most accurate, reliable information. That way people keep coming back to use that search platform. And now that there's even more competition out there across search engines and LLMs, the more accurate and reliable content that they are able to produce, the better, because that will keep people coming back to them. So all of these shortcuts that people are taking to spam different systems and pay their way onto the best of and get the best of mentions, all of these LLMs have an incentive to start weeding that out because if they are, proven to be unreliable, people will just navigate towards more reliable sources. So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind, especially as law firms are trying to decide who to partner with for their marketing firms. You want to partner with an agency that is doing things the right way, the white hat way, the most credible way. So producing content that is reliable, that's helpful, and using, not trying to game the system to get your law firm to show up, but using the tried and true credible sources, even if it takes a little bit more time, effort to do it the right way.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So the last thing we have on our list today is Search Console now I think Len might have been drunk when he was writing this. Search Console now house content
Yes.
performance for Instagram. All right, what are all of these words and what do they mean together?
Search Console now. I don't know what I wrote there.
Right? Now
It
has
has,
content performance for Instagram and TikTok.
you can measure content performance from Instagram and TikTok in Search Console. I actually haven't set that up or played with it yet, so I've got no idea what it does. But in Google Search Console, you can see the performance of your website, what some people are searching for, the traffic trends, stuff like that. And apparently, you can pull in data from TikTok and Instagram and probably some other platforms also. So
Cool.
if you really want to measure everything in Search Console, you can.
Well, and the more you can consolidate that information, the better you can see trends start to emerge and figure out what's working for you and what's not.
Yeah, we've got a couple attorneys and they're starting to put out more content. I like YouTube Shorts the best, but TikTok shows up in mobile search results and the AI stuff also. But I really like that it shows up in mobile search results. So if you've got something unique there, talking about a problematic sidewalk, or we've got a lawyer in Kentucky and there's a bridge in Louisville, and all the tractor trailers hit it and the top of the truck gets ripped off. They call it the can opener. There was actually an accident there last night. They've been talking about it on social media. They just did a video a few days ago, and now there's a truck accident like the day after they made the video, and that kind of stuff is trending. So
So the content that we're talking about for videos, I mean, I think that this is also kind of important to think through as law firms are trying to figure out what to post on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube and all of that. The reason that the Kentucky Bridge or tunnel video worked so well is that it was hyper local. It was talking about something that is unique to their area and wasn't a generic piece on the top three things to do after a truck accident. It got really specific. So, talk to us a little bit about the importance of developing hyper local or hyper specific content.
I like hyper local content that answers a question. So I think trying to grow a local following on social media is like a totally different animal. I think most people should avoid social media, but if you're going to do YouTube content, it's helpful to have local content. So, like say there's a dog park where people get bit at often, you could have a short video saying, "Hey, what happens? Who's liable if I'm bit at the dog park?" And a lot of people don't know the homeowner's insurance will likely cover that dog attack, or they could have something about the bike lanes or bus liability, or some cities police don't respond to accidents anymore. They could have something about that. All that stuff will show up when people are Googling it. So I'm a big fan of that. If you're going to have a social media presence that you actually want people to follow, um, you have to be putting out something unique. I just looked at somebody else's earlier, and they literally had a picture of a four on Instagram, said "Happy Fourth of July," and there's a flag, but it just said "Happy Fourth of July." I'm like, what? I know it's the Fourth of July. My dog is scared. There's bombs going off outside. Like I don't need to know. There's the Fourth. Like there's nothing. I'm not gonna say, oh wow, I should really follow this law firm because they told me it's the Fourth of July. There was nothing. Even it would have been better if the attorney came on and said, "Hey, Happy Fourth of July. This holiday means a lot to me because of X, Y, and Z." But they didn't. It was literally just like a big four, like four on the screen, just like a med.
Well, or do something interesting. Happy 4th of July. Here's, 5 tips to not blow your fingers off. Or, here's how to reduce your liability if you are lighting off fireworks at your house. Do something that adds value. Do something to help people. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier, that just generic mess is not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you followers.
That
It's not going to get you to be memorable.
that digital PR piece was around the 4th of July. So I'll leave that at that.
And it was a great value add. People picked it up and thought that it was awesome. So at the end of the day, make sure that you're adding value, do something interesting, get out in your community, have some fun with it.
Yeah,
So
I guess that's it. What are we going to name this video channel? We got to keep it separate from our normal channel because
how
this is
about Len and Lindsay rant about stuff?
lawyer marketing talk
Lawyer marketing rant.
rants.
Yeah, I think the word rant really kind of accurately describes it, and it's more interesting than talk.
Okay,
Yeah. So
sounds
lawyer
good.
marketing rant.
There's probably already a talk channel where people talk.
Legal marketing rant.
Yeah, sounds good. We don't need the no domain name. So are you buying
No,
the
I'm
domain
just
name?
Googling it to see if it's already out there. Um,
This
legal.
sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, cool. Love it.
Done.
Are you gonna go edit it out and trim it down or do anything with it? I didn't know if we were gonna do one long video or a bunch of little ones, or
I think this is good. We're still recording.
we are. All right, well, go put it up.
Okay.
All right. Bye.